Hi there, everyone. Welcome to another edition of The Night Sky This Week. I'm your host, Andrew Fazekas, the Night Sky Guy, here for July 11th, 2022. Welcome to everybody around the world. I'm so happy to see you guys. I see your comments light up the chat here. I see folks from all over the world. Please share where you're watching from. I've got folks from Netherlands, Luxembourg, people from all over the world. Where else do we have? South Central Texas as well. That's great. And France too, of course. This is fantastic. Love to see everyone from around the world joining in. This is really exciting week. Definitely, I see Scott's already zoomed in on the big topic this week in terms of astronomy is the James Webb Space Telescope releasing the very first images. Scott's already chiming in here. Let's see if I can put that up there. Let's see here. Where is Scott here? What does he say? So, hello, Andrew. Can you elaborate on about the upcoming pictures soon to be released from the James Webb Space Telescope from Detroit, Michigan? Yes, indeed, Scott. This is the big news this week. It's actually coming within hours. The NASA, the Canadian Space Agency, the European Space Agency are coming together to release the first science images of the James Webb Space Telescope, which was launched in December last year, actually on Christmas Day. And here we are more than 6 months out, and we're getting those first images. They've calibrated all the instruments, made sure that the mirrors on board, all 18 segments, are perfectly aligned. And they've done some amazing test images that have kind of gave us a hint of the capabilities of the James Webb Space Telescope. I mean, remember, it's 1.5 million kilometers away from the Earth. It's sitting at what's called the Lagrange point 2. It's kind of a stable orbit around the Earth and follows the Earth in tandem as we orbit around the sun. And it's put this far away because it has to be away from the heat source that the Earth and Moon are actually, mostly the Earth, of course. Just because it's an infrared telescope, it's very sensitive to heat. So its vision would be kind of totally wiped out if it was anywhere close to Earth. So that's why we've placed the James Webb at 1.5 million kilometers away. Here's NASA's webpage that announced that there's going to be coverage of the space telescopes, image reveals, and they're talking about, let me glasses on here. They are talking about what's first to come is at 5 p.m. Eastern time. So we're talking just less than 5 hours, just less than 5 hours from now at 5 p.m. Eastern time, North America. President Joe Biden will release one of Webb's first images in a preview event at the White House in Washington. NASA Administrator Bill Nelson will provide remarks, and a live stream of the event will be available on NASA TV. The image will be available simultaneously on NASA's website. So there you go, folks. You can go to nasa.gov to tune in less than 5 hours. I'll put a link on my social channels so that you can just click there. But all these images will also be put onto all of NASA's social media channels as well, and the agency's website too. It's going to be really amazing. Here in Canada, also, the Canadian Space Agency is heavily involved in this, of course, providing key instruments on the James Webb. So us fellow Canucks here up north of the U.S. border is also really excited about this because we're heavily involved in the Webb telescope mission. So what are they going to be talking about? Well, that's really interesting too, because NASA revealed some of the targets that it's looking at. So one of them is so there's 5 pictures that will be released, 5 targets that are being looked at by the James Webb in this first initial release. The Carina Nebula we're going to be able to see. This is one of the largest and brightest, basically, gas and dust clouds that are visible in our night sky. It's located about 7,600 light years away in the southern constellation Carina. So those of you that are in the southern hemisphere, south of the equator, this is a familiar sight. The Carina Nebula is a great backyard telescope target. And this nebula, this gas cloud, is a stellar nursery where stars are born. And the Carina Nebula is home to many massive stars, several times larger than our sun. So we're going to get unprecedented views of a star factory. What else? A funny planet with a funny name, WASP 96b. WASP 96b is a giant planet outside of our solar system, composed mainly of gas. The planet is located, get this, 1,150 light years from Earth. It orbits its star every 3.4 days, and it has about half the mass of Jupiter, and its discovery was announced in 2014. So what this is saying is that we'll get our first view of an exoplanet, which is really, really cool. So I'm wondering if we'll actually see the planet, the light from that planet, the heat signature. It'll be really exciting to see that as well. What else are we going to be looking at? The Southern Ring Nebula, also called the 8-burst Nebula. This is a planetary nebula. It's an expanding gas cloud surrounding a dying star. It's nearly half a light year in diameter and is located approximately 2,000 light years from Earth. So it's a well-known backyard telescope target for those of you in the southern hemisphere. And we're going to get a great view of this nebula. It should be something very beautiful. Then we're going to go outside of our galaxy, look at something called the Stephan's Quintet. This is about 290 million light years away. The Stephan Quintet is located in the constellation Pegasus, and it's notable for being the first compact galaxy group ever discovered back in 1877. 4 of the 5 galaxies within the quintet are locked in a cosmic dance of repeated close encounters. So you'll have this a view of a bunched up galaxies, 4 of them all kind of connected with gas clouds connecting them. So it should be very impressive to see. Remember, 290 million light years away. We're looking back in time, 290 million years. And then looking as far away as possible. I think this is going to set records, perhaps. SMACS 0723. This is a massive foreground galaxy cluster that magnifies and distorts the light of objects behind them, permitting a deep field view into both the extremely distant and intrinsically faint galaxy populations. So what does this fancy wording mean? Basically, we'll get the farthest view possible in back in space and time, maybe over 13 billion light years back in time. We don't know. They'll release it. But basically, this galaxy cluster that we'll see will have a distorted image of another galaxy or object behind it that's much farther away. And this is called basically this lensing, this galaxy lensing effect that's going to be released. And they'll talk more about this. So all of this is going to be released tomorrow at 10:30, Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And let's not forget, we'll also have today at 5 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, the release of one of these, a preview image that President Biden will be releasing. So that should be interesting. Let's tune in. I'll be putting up all the information for that as time permits. But why don't we now dive into the planetarium program and see what's in the sky tonight. So here's the view looking towards the south-southeast after local sunset. This is a really, really cool sight with the what we call the waxing gibbous moon. It's heading towards a full moon phase on Wednesday when it'll reach its full moon phase. But as we head towards there, it's just past the constellation Scorpius. Scorpius, the giant arachnoid in the southern sky. And again, this is a view as it appears kind of mid-northern latitude for cities like New York, Washington, Montreal, Toronto, Seattle, perhaps Tokyo, Rome, London. All of these have similar kind of skies. The moon might be a little bit higher, a little bit lower in the sky, but after sunset, it'll be just to the left of the constellation Scorpius. And marking that constellation is Antares, this brilliant orange-colored star about 550 light years away from us, and the moon will be just left of that beautiful orange star. It makes for a fantastic pairing, and the moon is basically embedded inside what we call the Milky Way band right there. In fact, where the Milky Way, how it's oriented right now in terms of where the moon is very close to the center of the Milky Way in front. It's sort of superimposed in front of where, from our vantage point here on Earth, we look to this part of the sky to see the central bulge, the downtown core of our home galaxy. And the moon is going to be superimposed right in front of it. Now, don't expect to see the Milky Way easily because of the moon's glow. In fact, even with binoculars and telescopes, you'll have a bit of a challenge to see those packs of stars. But just it's neat to know tonight that that's where the moon is located, right in front of the core of the galaxy. And how far away is that core? That you can see those dark rifts and those little clouds are around. That's about 28,000 light years away. Imagine that. And we can only see the glow of the combined light out of all of those stars. It's really impressive. And of course, as the moon moves away from this part of the sky, it means that we'll get to see the Milky Way better and better later in the week, okay, and into next week. So just so that you know where to look for the core of the galaxy, it's basically sandwiched between the constellations Scorpius and Sagittarius to the left of the moon. So if we magically kind of move on in the week, where does the moon go? Well, it gets right into the middle of Sagittarius, the chest of Sagittarius, this mythical character, half human, half horse. And you can see it's in what's called the teapot, the giant teapot configuration. That's right there. You can see the lid of the teapot right here next to the moon, the handle of the teapot, and of course the spout of the teapot right there. And this is what we call an asterism. Now, the moon is going to be very close to full. It's so bright, it'll block out most of this light. So I don't really expect you guys to see these stars right now, but they'll be there next few nights and into next week and weeks beyond. But now you'll know where to look for the giant teapot because the moon is going to guide you. And this is Tuesday, July 12th, after darkness falls in the evening. Now, if we continue the journey with the moon, you'll see the moon is by Wednesday will become a full phase. So this is really neat. The full moon this month of July 2022 is considered a supermoon. It's slightly closer to the Earth than the average full moon, and this makes it slightly brighter and slightly larger in the sky. So most people might not notice that, but it's going to be eye-catching to see that full moon rising. And this is known, by the way, the July full moon is known as the thunder moon. So we can call this the super thunder full moon in July. And it's thunder moon because this time of the year in the northern hemisphere, during the summer, mild, humid month of July, it's common to have afternoon thunderstorms rolling across many locations in the northern hemisphere. So we call it the thunder moon. That's the name of the full moon in the month of July traditionally. And there are other names too associated with China, but this one is one of the more popular ones, the thunder moon. So you can watch that super thunder moon rising on Wednesday in the east, southeastern part of the sky. You can see it right here. It'll be rising there soon after your local sunset. So as the sun sets in the west, the moon will rise in the east. And it's just fantastic to see that full moon rise. And it'll be a little bit more impressive thanks to it being a perigee full moon, which we know popular as a supermoon. It's about 50,000 kilometers closer than the average full moon, making this particularly a nice moon to look at. Rebecca here is pointing out on Facebook that it's also known as the full buck moon as well. That's right. There are many different names attached, especially culturally attached names. Many indigenous cultures have names for different full moons as well. So there's a lot of really neat tie-ins to humanity and their stories associated with moons throughout the calendar year. So if we kind of follow along maybe a little bit later, I'm going to set this a little bit. So this is Wednesday. So Wednesday, look for that full moon rising. And what you'll also notice, it's at the back end of Sagittarius on Wednesday. But if we move to Thursday, let me just get this to Wednesday. There we go. And if we move this to Thursday, you'll see that the moon by Thursday is approaching Saturn. So this is the configuration. Thursday night, when darkness falls, look for that waning gibbous moon. That's what it's called. So it's past the full moon phase. It's going to be really embedded in the constellation Capricornus, the sea goat, mythical animal, right? Half terrestrial, half aquatic animal. And in the same constellation will be Saturn next to the moon. So you have the moon and Saturn pairing up. This is Thursday night. And the show gets even better if we look at on Friday. The moon will just now pop over to below Saturn in the constellation Aquarius. There you can see the water bearer. All of this action, again, is happening in the east-southeastern part of the sky as soon as darkness falls. Again, this is the view Friday, July 15th. Just gorgeous. And this is late at night. So here, this is the view after 11 p.m. at night. And what I want you to do is, if you've got a small telescope, great time now that you've identified Saturn and you've never seen Saturn before. Maybe perhaps you have a new telescope or an old one that's been dusting away in the closet. This is a great time to look at Saturn and its rings. Check that out. Look at that. Look at that. This is the view through an average telescope under high magnification. Any little backyard telescope will show you those magnificent rings. They really are there. And it's amazing to think that this ring system spans about the same, it'll fit within the Earth-Moon system. So the Earth would be on one side and our moon would be on this side. The whole Saturnian system with its rings would sit in between the Earth and the moon. So it stretches about 290,000 kilometers across the rings from one edge to the other. And our moon, on average, sits about 400,000 kilometers from the Earth. So you can get a sense of scale here. And Saturn itself is about 90 times larger than our our planet Earth. And you can see those rings even close up. You can have if you change out your eyepiece to a higher magnification, you can view even more details. It's really impressive. So that's in store with Moon next to Saturn. Now, if we kind of, let me see if I can get this later at night, and then easily show you. This is again Friday night, and then Saturday night, still in at the feet of Aquarius is the moon. You can see right there. And it's approaching an even brighter planet, planet Jupiter, in the east. Now, this again is around midnight. Best time to see this. This is going to be on Sunday night, near midnight. And again, this is July 17th. So at the end of this week, you'll have the moon and Jupiter beautifully together. And by Monday night, and I'll talk more about this in next week's show, you'll have the moon really close to Jupiter, a wonderful pairing. That's Monday next week, July 18th. So fantastic week. The moon is there. And of course, for those of us who wake up early, you get to still see these beautiful planets at just before sunrise. There, let me just zoom out. You can see this is the view here. Mercury is kind of hidden in the glare of the sunrise. This is about a half hour before sunrise. Let me just get it a little bit better, an hour here. There we go. Venus pins down the eastern sky. Higher to the right of it is Mars, much fainter but distinctly orange. Then we have yellow-colored Jupiter, and also another yellow-colored Saturn trailing off to the right. So you got Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, and Venus on full display. I would say best views about an hour before your local sunrise. So you got to get up early. Any clear morning, this is what will greet you, spread out from east to south. So lots of cool stuff, guys. I see your comments here. Let me see here. We've got people from all over interested in all kinds of things. The comet K2, yes, the comet that we're talking about here. So that is it's very faint still. It's something only really visible with telescopes and a large pair of binoculars. It's magnitude about 9 or 8. I haven't checked in the last few days. But I will, and I'll comment about that in the comment section if I get some more information. So really impressive views, and I love to see comments from all of you around the world. I hope you like this show. I hope I gave you some ideas of what you can see in the evening, and of course also in the morning sky. If you like this video, please do share it with your friends and family. Also show your support by subscribing. Hit that subscribe button whether you're watching on YouTube, subscribe to my channel on Twitter, or if you're watching on Facebook, make sure you also get that notification turned on so you don't miss any of my posts about the night sky. So with that, I want to thank you so much for spending a few moments of your day with me. I hope I'll see you all next week. And until then, I wish all of you clear skies. Bye-bye.